Hi, my name is Kelly. Welcome to my channel. So one thing that I talk about frequently here on my channel is my personal experience with something called intermittent fasting. Now, if you're new here and you're not even sure what intermittent fasting is, I will post links in the video description box for my two-part series on intermittent fasting, just to give you a little bit of background info on what I'm talking about here. So if you've been following my health journey, you'll know that intermittent fasting is one tool out of several that I use to recover my health and heal my body and lose 70 pounds. Now, there are several what I consider to be more minor things that I do here and there to benefit my health. And if I removed any one of these things, it wouldn't necessarily have a significant negative impact on my health. But I do have what I consider to be 5 core tools that I have used to recover my health that, if I removed any one of these pieces, it would have a significant negative impact on my health and my weight. So these 5 core tools for my body are: number 1, healthy sleep routines; number 2, paleo diet; number 3, consistent exercise; number 4, taking my practitioner prescribed nutritional supplements every day; and number 5, intermittent fasting. Now, since these are all things that I do very consistently and simultaneously, sometimes it's hard after a while to differentiate exactly, the specific ways in which each individual thing is contributing to my health and benefiting me. But, recently I had to take a 2-week break from intermittent fasting. So it was actually a little bit of a nice experiment for me to be able to differentiate the specific ways in which intermittent fasting is benefiting my body. So first of all, if intermittent fasting was going so great, then why did I take a 2-week break from it? Well, about 7 months ago, when I was at the peak of, my health issues that I was having over the winter time, I started seeing my functional medicine practitioner for diagnosis and treatment. And at that point, when I first started seeing him, I'd only been fasting for about a week or 2. I was very new to it. And right away after seeing my lab work, my practitioner diagnosed me with reactive hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. And so he told me to stop fasting right away until I could go through at least a couple-month metabolic healing period. So I did that, and once he gave me the okay, I started fasting again. And, I made sure I didn't have any symptoms of hypoglycemia during my fasted state, and I did not. So probably consistently for about 4 months or so, I've been fasting every single day with no issues at all. Well, just, randomly about a month ago, like 2 or 3 days out of the week, I would start to have some mild hypoglycemia symptoms toward the end of my fasting period. And, as important as intermittent fasting is for my health, balancing blood glucose levels is even more critical. It is a foundational pillar in functional medicine, and so I do not mess around with that. I would never push my fast if I was having symptoms of low blood sugar. So right away, I broke my fast with a protein snack, and I would just, skip my fast for that day. And it usually happened at around the 14 or 15 hour mark. I couldn't complete a full 16-hour fast. So I talked to my practitioner about this, and he suggested that maybe I just give my adrenals a little extra love by taking a 2-week break from intermittent fasting and starting an herbal adrenal support supplement. So what happened during this 2-week time period? What kind of changes did I notice? Well, the first thing that I noticed was that I had an increase in acne, believe it or not. My skin has been really clear and healthy looking for months now, and I had no idea that intermittent fasting was even contributing to my skin health. I really didn't know. During this 2-week time period, I had to use rosemary essential oil pretty much every day to control my breakouts, which I didn't like at all. And I took this break during, right in the middle of my cycle when my skin should have been at its clearest. The second thing that I noticed was that my gut just sort of felt heavier and more bloated than normal. It definitely wasn't, my stomach definitely didn't feel as slim and flat as it usually does. So, and I didn't have any changes in my bowel movements. It wasn't because I was constipated. And I'll tell you, it's just not optimal to be forcing our guts to be digesting food around the clock instead of giving it that nice, lengthy rest and healing period. The third thing I noticed was a slow decline in my energy levels. And my energy levels, again, for months have been optimal. They have been optimal. I would not ask for anything better with my energy. My energy levels stayed constant throughout the day, but when I was not fasting, I noticed that I started to just kind of wear down a little easier in the afternoon and feel a little bit more tired. And one thing that I notice, a lot of people say about intermittent fasting is they feel like they need less sleep, and I definitely noticed that. I always have been someone who just needs a lot of sleep to be able to function properly. Not when I'm intermittent fasting. And I noticed I definitely did not jump out of bed quite as eagerly at 4 a.m., which is my normal wake-up time, and I normally love getting up in the morning at that time, and I'm a morning person, but I was just a little bit slower to get out of bed in the morning. Now, the fourth thing I noticed was that in that 14-day time period, I gained 4 pounds. Now, intermittent fasting is well known in the fitness world for helping people decrease their body fat and improve their body composition. So, and it was definitely more difficult for me, noticeably, to maintain an ideal body weight when I wasn't in a fasted state every day. So, just briefly, how does intermittent fasting help decrease our body fat? Well, when we are consuming food around the clock, we are giving our bodies a steady supply of blood glucose or blood sugar. This makes it more difficult for our bodies to burn through all of that glucose and to burn through our glycogen stores coming out of our muscles and our liver. And we don't even give our bodies a chance to get into our fat stores to start burning our fats for energy. And intermittent fasting, what it does is it really helps our bodies transition from being sort of lazy glucose burners into being efficient fat burners. And, when we give our bodies a chance through intermittent fasting to burn through all of our blood glucose stores, to burn through all of our glycogen stores, we give it a chance to start forcing it into a state where we are burning our body fats for energy. You guys, by the way, burning fats for energy is a much more efficient source of fuel for our bodies than burning glucose. Burning fat is a very clean burning fuel source for our bodies. Think of it like putting cheap gas in your car versus putting premium gasoline in your car. So burning fats for energy over glucose leads to less oxidative stress during energy production in the mitochondria, which has significant health implications. So just in summary, I had an increase in acne, an increase in bloating, an increase in body weight, and a decrease in energy. So I've been back to intermittent fasting now for about a week and a half. So this has all been pretty recent, and I've already noticed a lot of positive changes, and I just thought the whole thing was all sort of drastic, and I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Now within 2 days, my acne cleared up, and I have not needed to use any more rosemary essential oil. My energy levels are completely back to baseline. My sleep requirements are back to baseline. My tummy's flat again. I also, within 6 days back intermittent fasting, I lost those 4 pounds that I gained during the 14 days. And I've also had 0 symptoms of hypoglycemia, so, which is great. So maybe my adrenals did need that little break. And hopefully with the addition of these herbal adaptogens for adrenal support to the addition of, my supplement program, hopefully I won't have these issues again, because I don't want to take a break from intermittent fasting ever again. So overall, I am glad that I stopped intermittent fasting for a couple of weeks so that I could fully realize how well my body responds to this and how much I need it for my overall health. So if you guys like what you heard in this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.